So there's really three pieces to this. And the first is the role of the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So 90% of this role is to facilitate referral revenue for your team and yourself. And then 10% is to facilitate an event. So there's a couple things that are challenged here for chairs. So when Rainmakers was getting started, it was really all about the event, right?
Right.
And if you run a good event, there's a lot of people there, a lot of energy, a lot of guests, then you're doing pretty well.
Right.
But in the end, what people found out was, okay, I'm running this event and I'm doing all this work and I'm getting a lot of PR as the person that's running the event.
But no business.
Right, but I'm not making any extra money.
Right.
So where's the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Right. The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
And then
you just get that one on the fly, or is that?
It just popped in. You know? Somebody said it and it just popped in.
I may have to steal that. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Wow.
So let me ask you, what percentage of your business is coming from your referral team, or had in the past before? None. Okay.
Yeah, that's what was so bad about it. I've gotten more referrals from the referral team that's no longer there since we quit being a team together than I ever got when I was on the board, and even that's not a lot.
Okay.
So.
And then what percentage could you see it being, or would you like it to be within?
The goal is 50%.
Okay.
That's the generic goal. I'm selling toward all prospective, or promoting to all prospective board members.
Okay.
That if you want to be on the board, you ought to be aiming for that or somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay, perfect. So good, we got the chair spot down, and now you see that your role is mostly to facilitate the referral team revenue for yourself and get it to 50%,
right.
and then for your team as well too. And that's really the litmus test of how successful or unsuccessful you are, is being able to go around and say, what percentage of your business came from Rainmakers this month, what percentage of your business came from Rainmakers this month, over and over and over again. Then you go down to the referral team level. Then on the referral team level, really there's two purposes of the referral team. Number one is to create strategic intros for each other. So be the eyes and ears for one another as you're going out to different events, and finding other strategic people that would be good for other people in the room. Now, some of them may be good for just specific people, and others may be really good generally for 3 or 4 people in the group, which may make another good person for the referral team.
Sure.
And then on the flip side of that, which is even more important, is to create recommendations. For business. So I've been on referral teams before where all I got were strategic introductions. Oh, you need to meet this person, they target that industry. Oh, you need to meet that person, they target that industry, which is great. But when does the buck stop? Like, when do I start making some money on this thing and getting some real referrals? And that comes with the referral team. So I would say that 30 to 40% of your time should be strategic, because you always need more strategic introductions, because that'll lead you to more annuity streams of business. But your referral team is your strategic team. Right? So when we get here, this should be 70% of the time that you're spending in the referral team meeting is making introductions for business. Like, I've got this client, they've got your need, I can introduce you to get you the meeting so you can close some business. And then the last piece.
Hang on a second, if you would, please.
Okay.
When you say 70% of the time in the AB meeting should be spent on that, tell me what you have in mind as the AB meeting schedule over the course of a month.
Great. We can actually talk about that.
Okay. Well, thank you.
AB monthly schedule, and we can also go over the AB like team meeting schedule. Good. So 2 things here, and I think you already kind of hit this, talking about reconstructing your board. There are 2 types of referral teams that are built. There's one that's 6 degrees of separation. That's everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. If you put enough random people in a room that like each other, they'll end up creating some business, which works and which is what has sustained Rainmakers for a long time. But over the course of 2009, 2010, we've realized exclusively that strategic networking works the best. And that's why your niche of emerging businesses has become really important. So what I did when I took over my referral team, which is similar to what's happened with yours, I realized that everybody was focused on completely different things. One guy was an estate attorney and needed older clients that were retiring. Another person was a chiropractor that was focused on moms and kids. Then I was a business coach that was focused on, like you, emerging businesses, small businesses, 2 to 10 employees, north side of Indianapolis, $250,000 to $2 million in annual revenue.
Okay.
So as soon as I said that, I said, okay, well, this is my team. I'm the chair, my referral team, so it's going to fit my niche.
Right.
And so I took away 6 degrees of separation to help these other people find other referral teams.
Right.
And then made this exclusively strategic, as tight as I could. And I made some mistakes. I got people that were focused on new businesses and thought, well, they kind of overlap, but we didn't overlap enough.
Right.
Then other people that were focused on mid-sized businesses, oh, we kind of overlap, but I never saw their clients, and then I didn't want their clients because they were too big for my target, for my product.
Right.
So we never traded business, so they found other referral teams.
Right.
So finally I got to some place where my ask got really tight for that referral team. Okay, so then the last thing is the event. And then comes the really big question for you to do some introspection.
Sure.
So from the event standpoint, there's really one main reason for the event in terms of the hub model. Is face-to-face intros. So when you have a face-to-face introduction, does it speed up or slow down your ability to get a meeting with somebody?
Are you asking me that, or is that rhetorical?
Asking.
Oh. I guess if it's a person, yeah, I mean, it helps. It's better than a neutral cold one.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that the majority of the face-to-face meetings you have at an event generally are not going to be good business face-to-face meetings. So
Okay.
I didn't know what you were aiming for there.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to get at is this. So Carly Kearse introduced me to Steve Mugette during our referral team meeting. She sent a recommendation, email introduction, but Steve doesn't check his email. But Steve's a small business owner, and she said, you need to come to our Rainmakers.
Right, where I got to introduce you to Jamar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And not just me, but a bunch of other people too.
Right, no, I understand.
And then she introduced me to Steve. Immediately we got a meeting, and then he became a client 2 months later. Like, it was like magic. And I never, he's a client, and I still can't get him on the phone. But just because she brought him to the event, facilitated that introduction faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really, it's a place to get face-to-face introductions
For what?
all of the strategic and recommendations that you got in your referral team meeting.
Okay, let me ask the question a little more pointedly. When you say face-to-face intros, are you talking about face-to-face intros for customers or face-to-face intros to build your strategic referral team?
Both.
Okay.
Yep, both. So there's this one guy in my BNI group that he sells flooring. He's a business owner that owns a flooring store.
Yep.
And I want to introduce him to John McNichols.
Okay.
For some reason, John has changed his contact information a couple times, just changed businesses. So I didn't have his contact info. Tried to send an intro, didn't work. So I just said, hey Matt, John is at my event every single month. Make sure you're there. I'll introduce you to him. So we got up at 7:30 in the morning just to meet John McNichols.
Sure.
And create that face-to-face introduction.
Okay.
So from the event standpoint, and the funny thing is, like, what we used to do in our referral team meeting or advisory board meetings, we spent a bunch of time talking about the coffee and the
activity,
right,
all that
and
stuff,
the rock, right?
Yeah.
Like 45 minutes talking about that junk.
Right.
Well, it's nowhere in here, really.
Right.
Like, as chairs, we decide this, and then we just administer it, and people say, okay, and then we ask for some help and delegate some things.
Right.
From this standpoint, really, the event is about getting the meeting and speeding up the process there. So when all of this runs right, you've got a focus of creating revenue for yourself and for your team. You bring a team of people together that are all strategically linked.
Right.
They have a focus of coming in and finding a few more strategic introductions, but really they're there to get some business. They want to leave with referrals. And then at the event, they want to meet those referrals face to face, and that's why these people would actually show up to this event that you host. So out of this, what areas would you say would be the most impactful for you to get yourself from 0 to 50%? Where are the areas of growth?